Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the War Train here. Do me a favor, if you're not already subscribed, think about subscribing to the channel, guys. I try to put gaming content out like this on a regular basis, and if you guys enjoy this video, do me a favor, please give it a thumbs up. Now with that said, today's video, I want to show you guys my Super Nintendo game collection. Now, I was just sitting there looking at my games from across the room, and I was like, you know what? I've never showed these in a video. I've showed off all kinds of different collections, all kinds of pickups. Some of these games you've probably seen in pickups videos if you've been watching my channel for a while, but I've never actually showed off this collection. So I was like, you know what? Today's the day. I'm going to show this stuff. So I'm going to show you guys how I play these games, what I play them on, because there's so many different ways to play them on. I also do have a modded Super Nintendo Classic with pretty much any game in the library that I'd ever want to play, and a ton I'd never want to play. But there's other ways that I do play, because I try to play on original hardware if possible. If I have the cartridge, yeah, I'll try to play it on, I'll play it on the cartridge. But stick with me, guys, and check out my Super Nintendo game collection. Alright guys, so first off, I want to show you what I actually play my games on. I don't actually play on a Super Nintendo console anymore. I actually play on this guy right here. Now, this is Analog's Super NT Mini, and what they do is they make FPGA based clone consoles, and FPGA stands for Field Programmable Gate Array. And what that does is, instead of emulating the ROM, it actually emulates the hardware. So it basically makes the system think it's like a Super Nintendo or whatever system they're emulating. So this thing actually emulates it with some crazy high level of accuracy. I want to say it's like 99.7% or something crazy like that. It may even be 99.9. Whatever it is, it's good enough for me. The games sound like they should on this, they look like they should, and this is the best way to play on a modern display. This company makes really high-end clone consoles. It's basically the Ferrari of a Super Nintendo. They also make a Sega Genesis style one. I want to say that's called the Mega SG. And they have made the NT Mini, which was the NES version, which currently is not in production, but there is, you know, rumor or whatever, they were talking about a Kickstarter or names or something, like a list where they may actually come out with some more NT Minis. If they do, I'm probably going to pick one up. I actually wanted to pick one up, but they weren't in production anymore. So, yeah, they were really expensive though. But what was different about them is they offered more than just HDMI out. Those ones actually offered HDMI, S-video, component, RF, like all these different hookups. So it was absolutely crazy. You could hook it to pretty much up to anything. So really, really cool systems. And what I use as the controller on this is, you can see the wireless, 8-bit DOE adapter I have plugged into that, and I actually use these, which is the 8-bit DOE SN30 gamepad, and this is pretty much as good as it's gonna get for a Super Nintendo controller that's not made by Nintendo. This thing is an absolutely great controller. I highly recommend this console and this controller to play Super Nintendo games, Sega Genesis games, if you want to get the Sega or the SG Mini. Just absolutely great company that makes great products, but you are going to pay for it. I want to say that this thing has like a $200 price tag on it, and it's not going down. So it does come with 2 games pre-installed on it. They give you even a box for it, which is cool. And it's Super Turrican Director's Cut. So the Director's Cut was never actually released until they put it on the system. And it also has Super Turrican 2 on it. Both of these are absolutely amazing games. If you have a chance to play any of the Super Turrican games, I highly recommend them. They are absolutely awesome. But moving on, let me show you my games. So first off, this is the only Super Nintendo repro game I own. And that's because you can't get it in North America. And that is the Fireman. Now, I could actually just buy the, PAL Region cartridge and play it on this system, but at the time I didn't think of that, and I just bought a repro. So either way, I'm able to play this game. This is an absolutely awesome Super Nintendo game. I highly recommend it. A lot of fun. And the next one I have is a classic. A lot of people like this game better on the Sega Genesis. I kind of have to agree with them there, but regardless, it is a great game, and that is Disney's Aladdin. An absolutely awesome and just classic game. A lot of people have fond memories of this from their childhood. And the next one is one that I picked up in just random pickups. I got for really, really cheap, actually, the next two. So I definitely couldn't turn them down. And the first one is FPGA Tour Golf in excellent condition. And the next one in great condition as well is NCAA Basketball. So absolutely great shape. And I just love Super Nintendo, so I'll take any cartridge I could find, honestly. I'm always looking for just NES, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, whatever. Sega Genesis, always looking for games for these systems. And the next one is The Jungle Book. And some of the Super Nintendo games just have such an awesome art style. I love 16-bit style of gameplay. It still holds up today. Not all the games, but a lot of them. The next one is Michael Andretti's IndyCar Challenge. And the next two are actually like Tiny Toon games. Looney Tune style games. The first one being Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage. And the next one is Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Bust Loose. Now, and this is a really good looking game. Really big sprites, real colorful. Definitely holds up today, that's for sure. So the next one is a helicopter, like shoot 'em up style game, and that is DForce. Definitely not a bad game by any means. I definitely like my shoot 'em up games, that's for sure. And the next one, a really, really good movie tie-in game, and that is Batman Returns. Absolutely fantastic looking game and just fun to play. Absolute fun to play this one. The next one, another really great looking game and fun, but definitely hard, is Indiana Jones Greatest Adventures. This is a really, really good looking Indiana Jones game. And the next game is one I just got with some random pickups for another real cheap price, and I definitely wouldn't have turned it down, and that is Madden 94. So going way back with Madden here. But you can't forget where these games came from, that's for sure. It's super cool sometimes to go back and even check out some of these old sports games. Some of these old sports games can be a lot of fun to play. And the next one, an absolute classic, and that is Frogger. Definitely not in the best shape, the sticker, but still, I guarantee this plays excellent. And the next one is the Pitfall, the Mayan Adventure. Definitely better than the original Pitfall game, believe me on that. And the next three games are Super Star Wars. I got the original one here, This one is in absolutely excellent shape. Super Empire Strikes Back. And Super Return of the Jedi. Now, if you've never played any of the Super Star Wars games, these are absolutely great looking games. They are just super hard. Holy smokes, are they hard. You want to talk about rage quit, man. Those games will have you rage quit, that's for sure. Alright, so moving into a new stack here. This is an absolutely must-own. Both of these, actually. The first one being Donkey Kong Country, the original. Absolutely great game, and this cart is in amazing condition. I actually recently picked this up. I want to say within the last like 6 months. And just a great game to have found in the wild, especially in this great shape. And the next one, I wish was in as good a shape as that one, but unfortunately it is not, but still an absolutely great game. And that is Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. Both of these Donkey Kong games are just absolute classic games and just a ton of fun. They both definitely hold up really good. And another one that was actually a start of an awesome franchise in my opinion. Hopefully we'll get some more games, hopefully on the Switch in this franchise, I hope anyway. And that is Star Fox. This is another one I actually recently picked up and couldn't believe I didn't have it in my collection. I played a ton of this game growing up, let me tell you. And the next one here is Alien vs. Predator. Another one I had to own. I am a big Alien and Predator fan, so definitely wanted this game, let me tell you. Really good looking sprites. Not the greatest beat 'em up, but it's not bad. Definitely worth playing, that's for sure. And there is some games that, like I said, I still don't have that hopefully in the future I will pick up. One of them being Super Mario Kart. One I used to have, but don't have it anymore. Need to get it. Some more Mortal Kombat games, especially the second one. I played so much of this, well actually all of them, but the second and third one specifically, I played so much on the Super Nintendo. On the Genesis, I played the first one because of the blood code. That was a thing. Back in the days, Mortal Kombat 1, they basically made it look like sweat, and it just, yeah, it was weird. But this is another absolute classic game and a must-own for the Super Nintendo, and that is Super Mario World. Still, such a great game, completely holds up. You know, and we're still playing stuff from this game. Super Mario Maker, still, we're playing all the Mario beginnings. New games, they'll live on forever, that's for sure. Alright, so moving into some of my absolute favorites on here, which was just one of them as well, Super Mario World. That's a great one. But the next one, another absolutely fantastic game and a must-own, is Super Mario AllStars. Absolute great game here. Has the first three and basically what really should be Mario 2, which is the Lost Levels. Really hard Mario game, that is for certain. But this is a great looking game because it took those original games and put them in 16-bit. And the next one I got here is some people's favorite on this system, another classic, Super Mario 2 Yoshi's Island. And this is one that I recently got within the last 6 months and was really happy about this pickup as well. This cart is in amazing condition. So really happy that I got this. And another one, an absolute must-have in my opinion, basically probably the best beat 'em up on the system, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. An absolute great game. A pretty expensive cartridge though. This cart probably goes for about $75 loose, I think, unless it's gone up. The last time I looked, I think it was about $75, but definitely worth having in your collection. And I gotta say, I have the arcade version here from Arcade 1-Up, and this version definitely holds its own. This is a really, really good arcade port that they put on the Super Nintendo. It definitely has a lot of merit, let me tell you. And the next one I recently picked up as well, and couldn't even believe I found it in this good a shape as well. And that is Super Mario RPG, The Legend of the Seven Stars. Another absolutely great Mario game, and just awesome looking. I mean, this game just has such a unique art style. I love the way that it looks. With the like digitized graphics and stuff, it just has such a really cool look to it. I wish they made another one in that same art style, but definitely isn't going to happen. And one of my favorite games of all time, and a must-own for this system, and one of the best games maybe ever made. I know it's on some people's list that this is the best game ever made, and that is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And definitely a game worthy of that title, because this game is a true legend. And now I'm going to show you guys the two boxed games that I do own. The first one here is a PAL game. I got a really great deal on this, so I couldn't turn it down, especially because it's boxed and it has the manual. And I'm able to play the PAL version because I have the Super NT Mini, so it's not like a problem at all. I don't need a Super Famicom or any of that kind of stuff. A PAL one anyway, and that is Sparkster. Now this is a great game in its own right, and a US version of this is really expensive, especially with the box. The price is just crazy how much this card is worth. And you can see on the back, if you're not familiar with this game, it's just got really, really great looking sprites. And it's just a great looking game. It's definitely a fun game as well. And one of my favorite games, as well as The Legend of Zelda on the Super Nintendo, one of my other favorite games and one of my other favorites of all time, and that is Super Metroid. This is basically my favorite Super Nintendo game that I own, just because it is complete and in really, really good condition. Just absolutely great condition, and this is something I'm not going to be pulling in and out of the box barely ever. I do have other ways to play these games. I do have a modded Super Nintendo Classic, so I have access to plenty of Super Nintendo, but like I said, I do try to play the games on the Super NT Mini instead of playing them in emulation, because they definitely play better playing them on real hardware. They sound the best, they look the best, and they look the best on my modern TV. Even if I played on one of these other systems or on the Switch or whatever, you know, like say handheld mode on Switch is 720. I'm not sure what docked is on there, but regardless, it's not going to look like it is on this system, on the Super NT Mini. And this game looks absolutely amazing on there. So, great game. Highly recommend it. If you've never played this, definitely check it out. But most of you have played it and know it is a great game. But what do you guys think of my Super Nintendo game collection and the Super NT Mini by Analog? Let me know what you guys think. What games did you like the most out of the collection? Definitely let me know in the comments. And like I said, if you're new, you know, think about subscribing to the channel, guys. Like I said, I try to put gaming content out like this as much as I can. And if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. But that's it, guys. I'm the War Train, and I'm out. Have a good one.